Today we will be making a cardstock winter aconite. These are some of the tools and materials you'll need to make this flower. We'll be using some cardstock, and this nice golden yellow color is called banana pepper. And then we have sour apple and gumdrop green, and these are both from the Nature Green pack. You'll then need an 18 gauge floral wire for each flower. And then we'll be using some colored pencils to add detail. You'll need a darker green, and I'm using olive green. This bright green is chartreuse, and then a cream colored pencils. You'll also need some white craft glue, and we always like to use the Barely Art Precision craft glue because of this nice thin tip. And then for our tools, you're going to need scissors, and I cut all the pieces out for my flower on a cutting machine. And then we'll need a steel ball shaping tool. And to go along with that, you'll want a nice soft but still firm surface to work on shaping our petals. And so I'm using this felt pad that's normally used for needle felting or maybe ironing on top of. And then you'll need a curling tool as well. Any other tools and materials you need can be found in the post. Let's get started. The first thing you're going to need to do is to cut out all of your cardstock pieces. You'll need 2 sets of petals, 2 of these larger yellow sepals, 1 smaller green sepal, and then 1 leaf. And this is enough to make 1 flower. So to begin, we're going to add some details using our colored pencils. First, we'll add some details to our flower petals. So I'm going to take this cream colored pencil, and I'm just going to add a few strokes. Oops. Make sure you have a pencil sharpener on hand. Okay, so to add details to your petals, you're going to want to add a few strokes of this cream colored pencil. I'm applying this detail to the smooth side of the paper. Next, you're going to take the brighter green colored pencil and add a few more strokes of that. I'm just doing 3 strokes on each petal. And then we're going to add some detail to our leaves. So I'm going to take this darker green, and I'm just going to use the side of the pencil to shade from the center up the petals just to darken the center, and leaving the tips of those leaves the lighter green of the paper. Okay, once you've done that, go ahead and take the lighter green colored pencil again and just follow the score lines and just add this color to each score line. Now that you've finished adding that color detail, we're going to shape all of these pieces. So you're going to need your soft surface. If you don't have one of these felting mats, you could use an ironing board works, or sometimes I'll just fold up a dish towel a couple times. You just need something that has a little bit of give in it, and it's also fairly smooth. So we're going to take our steel ball shaping tool, and I'm going to start with our flower petals. So I'm going to take this larger end here, and it's about 1 inch in diameter. I'm just pressing into the petal while moving in circular motions to get a nice cupped shape. You do have to press pretty hard. And then we're going to take these sepals, and I'm starting with these larger yellow ones, and I'm going to use the smaller ball. I'm just going to very gently move in a circular motion. This is just going to curl those sepals inward, just like that, and repeat that with the second sepal. Then go ahead and take that smaller green sepal, and you can do the same thing. This one, you can even use your fingers to kind of press in the pieces, the sepal bits a bit more. And then to shape our leaves, you're just going to need your curling tool. Flip this over so that the side I added color to is facing down. And at the base of each leaf, I'm going to curl so that all of the leaf little tendrils come up. I'm going to flip it back over, and I'm going to curl the tip of each leaf down. So it has this kind of bowl shape. Now we're ready to begin adding our pieces onto our wire. So go ahead and grab your 18 gauge floral wire, and we're going to start with the smallest green sepal, and we're going to add that onto the tip. And once I have it on there, the wire's pushed through, I'm going to take my white glue and add it all over the tip of this wire, a good amount, and then I'm going to slide the sepal up. I'm actually going to kind of pinch the tips of the sepals all in. Okay, next we're going to slide one of these yellow sepal pieces on. And I'm going to add a little bit of glue just underneath the green one and slide the yellow one right up against it. Then you can add the next one. And again, adding a little bit of glue. Now we can go ahead and add our first set of petals. Same thing, we can add a bit of glue just underneath this yellow sepal and slide the petals right up underneath it. Then adding our next petal set. Right, and make sure when you slide the second petal set up that the petals are lying just between that first set of petals, so you have your flower. Before you add your leaf set, we need to grab a little bit of crepe paper, and we're going to be using this juniper color here, and we're just going to be cutting a small strip of it to use as a stem wrap for the flower. So I just take a piece of this and I fold it in half a few times, and my grain is going this direction, up and down. And I'm just going to cut the end off. It's going to be about a 1/2 inch strip, and that should be enough for my stem wrap. All right, I'm going to add a bit of glue to the wire just below my flower. And I'm going to wrap just this small 1/2 inch section of wire here with this strip of juniper crepe paper. And I'm just going to tear it off when I'm done and add a bit of glue to hold the end in place. So I'm using this little wrapped section of wire as a spacer for my leaves. So I'm going to add my leaf on, and it's just going to rest right underneath that crepe paper. So slide it up. I'm going to add a bit of glue right at the end of that crepe paper wrap. Slide my leaf on there, kind of firmly pressing it up towards the wrap. And now I'm going to wrap below the leaf and very closely to it so that that leaf is really sandwiched between the two wrapped sections of wire. So I'm going to wrap, and then I'm actually going to press the wrap up so it's pushing against the bottom of the leaf. And now I can continue to wrap down my wire. This is making the stem. And these flowers don't grow very tall, so I'm actually going to cut this wire down to about 7 or 8 inches instead of leaving its full 12-inch length. So I'll take a pair of wire cutters here and just trim this, and then I'll finish wrapping all the way down the wire to cover it. Here you have your finished winter aconite. And I would make quite a few of these. I have 6 of them here, and you could put them in a small vase or you could plant them in a pot to display. Thanks for crafting with me today.